And we're back. We just finished watching 2019's live action of Dumbo with Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, Eva Green, among others. And it was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Fine movie, kids fair. Wasn't nothing really blew me away. There was nothing really sort of like
objectionable,
eye rolling or that made me want to just pull my own head off. Like there is in a lot of kids movies, which was good.
Yeah, it was fine. I was super impressed with the CG work in it. And I think we discussed that. It's obviously come a long way. The rendering on the elephants, very well done.
Yeah, Dumbo looked cute. He had big floppy ears.
And it looked like he was in the scene.
It looked like he was in the scene with the kids when characters usually interact with
things that aren't
CG
there.
Things. Sometimes you'll see like a heavy shadow whenever they make physical contact with the thing to hide, I guess, whatever compositing is going on or the lack of shadows. But they actually did a pretty good job on that. I guess that's that Disney money at work.
Absolutely. So this was Olive's pick. Olive, what was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie is when that chimpanzee,
The little monkey. Like the monkey.
You like the way the little monkey would torment Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked any scene with the monkey in it.
The monkey was good. Anything else? Did you like any scenes with Dumbo? He is the main character.
Yeah. Did you like the story? Did you like any of the characters aside from the little monkey that was in the movie for about a grand total of 5 minutes?
How about Millie and Joe? Did you like Millie and Joe? Those were the kids.
Oh, that's what their names were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them.
You liked them? Why did you like them?
Billy and Mo.
Billy and Mo?
He kept saying Millie.
I couldn't really hear him.
Wow. I mean, we're the ones who are getting old. Right at the end of the film, she had her own tent that said Millie.
Yeah, that's when I realized her name was Millie, but before I thought.
All right. Well, what about you? Did you have a favorite scene in the film?
I like when that mermaid throws the man into the water.
Yes, at the end when they're doing the big heist. It was cute. Nothing overtly special about this movie. Nothing terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things where if the kids want to see it, indulge them. It's cute. It's fantastical.
You won't feel like you gotta bathe your brain and bleach afterwards. It's not reliant on farting and
as a lot of young kids movies are.
It actually. I mean, I gotta be honest. I don't think I've seen chunks of the animated Dumbo.
Yeah,
I've seen the whole thing.
I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing. How close does that adhere to?
You know, it's interesting. It's funny that you bring that up because there was that scene, and again, spoilers, but I think we always caveat with spoilers. There were differences and similarities. One of the differences but similarities was that the scene with the dancing elephants, which is iconic in the original animated one, is when I think the crows or somebody takes Dumbo and gets him drunk. I forgot who. Maybe it was the mouse.
No. It was the clowns were all celebrating.
Right.
And their bottle of booze falls over.
You're right.
And Dumbo takes a big swig.
And then starts,
totally drunk.
Right. So that's...
I remember that.
That was different and similar in that it didn't happen the way it happened in the original, but you get the whole dancing elephant sequence, which was nicely done. In this movie, they do it as like bubbles being blown that shape into elephants and do this little dance routine.
That never would have happened.
Nothing in this. Let's throw realism out the window because you're talking about a baby elephant flying, and in many scenes with people on its back.
Yeah, would never happen.
The physics are not going to happen. Basically, as soon as Dumbo jumped off that ladder, he's going to hit the pavement like a bag of wet tomatoes.
Yeah. And that's the end of Dumbo.
And that's not the sort of movie that you take your kids to.
See, exactly. I think another similarity in the movie was the whole scene how they get the mother and the baby elephant get separated. You know, there's a thing that happens.
There's a thing that happens that's very...
Well, I don't want to give away spoilers for anybody
Yeah,
that wants to see it. I mean, if you've seen the original, you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. In this one, there's an added layer of... It starts out that they're in this traveling sideshow circus, the Medici Brothers. It's headed up by Danny DeVito's character, who again sort of reprises a ring MC's position. He also kind of sort of did that in Big Fish.
Too,
Yeah. So that was kind of cute. And then
both by Tim Burton.
And that was another thing that I was going to bring up, how distinct of an eye and a style that Tim Burton has. This isn't as...
I gotta say, as far as Tim Burton's style, Tim Burton definitely has a style. But this
is different.
A bit more muted.
Yeah.
I would say closer to Big Fish than, say, Beetlejuice
or Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, like those, even Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? That's his too, right? So those films are, obviously there's always this fantastical element in a Tim Burton movie, but these are more toned down, maybe? I mean, there's still that fantastical storytelling.
Not everybody looks like they're going to a goth party and they're just, let's all roll our eyes at each other and make sarcastic comments. That's you see that heavily in a lot of Tim Burton stuff.
Earlier
people
stuff,
wearing a lot of black and white striped stockings or suits or stuff like that. That's not really here.
Yeah,
and even when he could have went nuts, considering you're dealing with sideshow freaks and stuff like that,
he kept it tamed down.
Even when he brought the story to Coney Island, where they have like a fantastical version of like
what old Coney Island used to be,
which I always love seeing.
Yes.
I love that sort of thing. You know, even though it's not realistic, but it's still just, imagine an amusement park like that. It would be just like so much fun. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the Mister and I are originally from Brooklyn, and we grew up in Brooklyn in the 70s, and we got to see some of that before, unfortunately, it was torn down. There was a lot of beautiful elements of the past, and if anybody is curious about history, the history of New York and stuff like that, I urge you to pick up.
But we're not so old that we saw the really cool stuff.
No, we're not that old that we saw the really cool stuff, but
we
still,
saw the ruins of some of
the cool stuff's true. But we always were curious about the history of Coney Island, so we know a little bit about it and how the parks used to look, how Steeplechase and Dreamland and Luna Park, and seeing it in the film, obviously it's more sleek and beautiful than what the stuff that was there looked like in the early 1900s. It's still kind of fun, and I agree with you. It was nice to see kind of that reimagined version of it.
And anyway, put the real version there.
And anyway, to my point, like Tim Burton could have gone completely Tim
Insane.
Burton on that and just made it look like Batman or something.
Or his version of Willy Wonka.
But he showed some
restraint,
deference to history and pulled back a bit, but it still looked great.
Yes, agreed. So, scale of 1 to 10. Olive J, this was your choice. What would you give it?
7.
Okay. J?
I'd go like 7.9.
7.9. What would you?
I'd say 6 or 7. It's not the greatest film I've ever seen, but as far as kids' fare goes,
it's decent.
It's definitely something that an adult can go to where they won't feel insulted or offended in any way. But it looked nice. There were certain parts of the story that they service the plot more than the characters themselves. But it's a kids movie. You know, if you're gonna go in there and be hypercritical about that, just don't ever see a kids movie.
Agreed. I think not the best thing I've ever seen, not the worst thing. I think the CG on it again was really, really well done. Thank you, Disney, for having deep pockets. The art direction was outstanding. The costumes were lovely. Very much part of history.
I didn't think any characters were really wasted.
No, I was going to say the acting was well done.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell is always
Colin Farrell was
fun
a
to watch.
sympathetic guy.
Played his role well.
The kids played their parts well.
Danny DeVito was great.
DeVito was great.
Michael Keaton, I'd love to see more of that kind of over-the-top, silly, fun, bad guy.
I would say of all the characters, I probably liked him the least.
Well, I think you're supposed to.
No, but not in the fact that I'm supposed to dislike him. Mm-hmm. More in the fact that I just didn't...
He wasn't fleshed out enough?
He was something in the beginning, and then... basically what I said as far as like people doing things in service of the plot rather than the character.
Sure.
And there was just a point where it was like, we need you to be more bad guy. Let's twirl that mustache. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's twirl it.
Yeah.
And he just
goes for it.
Full bore into it, and it was just like, okay, this is
a little much.
A little much.
Yeah. Still, I mean, I feel like he's always fun to watch. I mean, he's a revelation. I think it's unfortunate that there was a period in time where he sort of
disappeared.
Disappeared into the ether. I don't know what happened to him, but thank you, Alfonso Cuarón, for bringing him back in Birdman, and he was great in that first Spider-Man with Tom Holland as the Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture.
He was fantastic in that. I think he's always fun to watch. And then just the whole Mr. Rogers quote from him, which was hilarious.
Wait, what? What did you say?
I think he worked at
he apparently worked for Mr. Rogers when he was very young.
Yeah.
And there was like some sort of, before the internet, there was an internet rumor where basically people said, is it true that Mr. Rogers was a sniper in Vietnam?
Yes.
And that he has some like 63 career kills on his record. And they asked that of Michael Keaton, and Michael
didn't
Keaton
even miss a beat.
Didn't miss a beat. He just looked at the camera and said, Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah, he's a Stone Cold Killer. I love that line. It was so great, so great. Oh my god! But his early work is mostly comedy, right? So he is just
as a stand-up.
Yeah, he's amazing. But always a treat to watch him, even going whole hog crazy. Eva Green. Lovely.
Eva Green, always solid. Yeah.
Always solid.
Yeah.
Even the supporting.
Mom, what'd you say you give this movie?
I would give it a 6.
A 6?
A 6.
Not the least.
Yes. Even the Disney movie. I mean, even the Disney money couldn't save it and give it a higher rating. It's funny because I would like to go back to my original Lady Bird 6 and give that a 4. But this is definitely a solid 6. It's good. It's good. According to IMDb's parent guide, which is deranged. Don't even peruse it. It's just silly. According to them,
They saw her nipples.
Danny DeVito sitting without a shirt on is apparently
nudity.
Yeah, sexuality and nudity.
No, it just said sex and nudity.
Sex and nudity. Yeah, it's good.
Because
But you don't see anything. You see his flabby back.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the word hell is said 3 times. I can't believe somebody counted that.
Shame on you, Disney.
Yeah. But, a 6. Not,
And someone almost said the S word.
Allegedly.
Came close and didn't actually
say it. Yeah. Not Inside Out, but still a decent family movie if this is what you're looking for. So I think that's it from us. It's getting late. These kids got to get to bed. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll speak to y'all real soon. Good night.